So today's video is about one of the most confusing, unhinged, and manipulative communities on the internet. And I have gone through some really bad shit because of this community. And I was literally addicted to the videos of manifestation community. And they sell a lot of half-truths and lies and prey on the vulnerabilities, anxieties, worries, and fears of the people who watch their videos. We are going to talk about all of them because I was a victim of this particular culture in manifestation community, and I think a lot of other people go through the same thing, but because of the shame, they cannot talk about it with other people. So I am going to give you what I did in order to help you, or try to help you, have a direction on what should be your next step in order to get out of this manifestation video addiction. Okay, but before that, if you're not mature enough to understand that somebody can have an opinion different than yours, or somebody can like or dislike something, or somebody that you dislike or like respectively, and that is not an attack on you, then maybe you're not mature enough to watch any of the videos I have posted or I'm going to post. So please move on with your life and let's start today's video. Alright, so in order to criticize something, we first have to have a clear idea of what it is. So manifestation basically means when you want something and you believe that you are worthy enough to receive it and you get it. That happens. That's all manifestation. It is that easy. But if the manifestation coaches told you that it is that easy, how would they prey on your vulnerabilities? How would they prey on your anxiety, your fears, your worries, and worst of all, your hope? Because most of the people who start watching manifestation videos are already struggling with something or suffering with something. And they want answers. And they feel like manifestation community is the answer. And when they are in that vulnerable position, for example, somebody may have lost their loved ones, or somebody has gone through a really bad breakup or a divorce, or somebody is in the dire need of money, or somebody is chronically ill, and they would just give anything to even just temporarily feel a relief or not feel this pain. And that's when manifestation videos enter. And once you click on one video, it tells you that this is what you have to do. Like there's this like XYZ technique that is the ultimate solution. Then they come up with another ultimate solution. So if all of them are ultimate solution, then why isn't the manifestation working? Because there are manifestation videos titled "Do Nothing, Get Anything." Then why are you making a 15 minutes, half an hour video explaining what they have to do if they do not have to do anything to get everything? So they do have to do the emotional work, the mental work. They do have to change the way they feel about things. They feel about themselves. That's what they have to do. So don't sell the lies. And this is just the surface level. It goes so deep that even before you know it, manifestation videos and manifestation and law of assumption and law of attraction is all you're thinking about. And all of these techniques, you're obsessively doing them because you feel like that's the solution. And in order to do that, you ignore yourself. Because once you watch one video and it tells you what you are supposed to do, it tells you about a technique, you do that, you look out and you're like, no, nothing has changed. Nothing has been solved. So I must be doing something wrong, because that's what they tell you too. Like if something is not happening, it is your fault. And you internalize that and you project that onto everything. Like if you had a fight in the bus with a passenger, which I did, I experienced this personally. They tell you everything is your fault. So once I was in the bus, when I was addicted to manifestation content, I was in the bus and I had a fight with another passenger. And after that fight, I was so sad, but not because of the fight itself. I was sad, I was angry with myself, because I was thinking, I internalized the fact that everything that is happening outside of me is my fault. It is not. Every small thing that is happening outside of you, it is not your fault, because it is not in your control. So anything that is not under your control is not your fault. But manifestation community, the manifestation coaches come and sit in front of the camera as if they have all the answers. You don't. But let me tell you, none of the manifestation coaches have any answers that you cannot figure out on your own, because they found those answers with their personal experiences, right? Or by reading a book. So if they have gathered that knowledge from books and from their own experiences. So can you. There is nothing more that they can tell you that you cannot know yourself. It is basically you learning how your system works and how to operate it optimally, but somebody else tries to tell you how. And they are even charging you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to do something that you can very well do yourself, because they are making you dependent on themselves, right? And partly it is also the viewer's fault, but they are so vulnerable, and these coaches talk like, oh, everything is under your control, because there is this one phrase that I absolutely hate, because it is, again, another half truth. It says, nobody has free will except for you. And they do not explain what it means properly in a healthy way. They tell you nobody has free will but you. That translates directly into you can control everybody else, right? But if that is true and multiple people, millions of people are watching that, then millions of people are controlling other millions of people that they know, right? So who exactly has the free will and who doesn't? The thing that statement that nobody has free will but you is incomplete. Nobody has free will but you when it is about you. For example, nobody has free will but you to decide how you are going to respond and react to certain situation. That's the full truth. You are not controlling other people. You are not making them do things that they do not want to do. It's you. It's your own emotions. It's your own feelings, your response that you're controlling. For example, if you had a fight with somebody, a friend or a classmate in front of a lot of people, you have two choices: act mature and work it out with that person, or act immature and just lose your mind. If you choose the mature option, people are going to perceive you as mature and they're going to treat you accordingly. If you choose the immature option, they are going to perceive you as an immature person and they're going to treat you like one. In this whole scenario, the only control, the only free will that is under your control is your response. And based off of that, you are changing people's perception of you. So you are not taking away their free will and making them do something that they do not want to do. You are changing it by changing yourself. But that is not something that we did not know, because therapists have told us that multiple times. You reap what you sow, right? So we have all heard that. It is nothing new. It is just different terminologies that is making it so much more difficult for people to understand and grasp. And it is the different terminologies in manifestation community that only the manifestation community uses that is making it more and more difficult for people to understand what is going on. Let me give you an example of my ADHD diagnosis, okay? So I got diagnosed with ADHD in 2023. Before that, I already had ADHD and I knew that I think and my mind works differently than other people. But it was just me, right? I knew that I was a bit different from most of the people that I see. And it was okay because I accepted myself. So all that was coming with me, all the differences that was coming with me were just me. So it was nothing new. So I didn't have to figure out anything. Like obviously I had to figure out, but I didn't have to ask somebody else on what to do about these problems that I was having. So I knew how to make my mind work optimally. And then I got diagnosed with ADHD in 2023 and suddenly I felt like, oh my God, I have to find the answers from other people, because it felt like I got ADHD, not that I already had it and I had all the answers. Now it's just it has a name. Instead of feeling like that, I felt like, okay, I have to seek answers from the professionals like doctors who are working on ADHD or scientists or ADHD content creators on the internet. And I stopped listening to myself. I stopped doing the things, I stopped using the solutions I already was using before my diagnosis. And I was thinking they have the answer because they have been doing this as experts. So they know the answer better than me. And I forced myself to use their solution instead of mine. And that's what happens when you enter into the manifestation community. You already know everything that they are telling you, but in a different language. But when you come into the manifestation community, the coaches make you think like they have all the answers and you don't. So you trust them and you trust only them. You stop trusting yourself. And when you stop trusting yourself, what happens is that once you are not listening to your inner voice, it will still stay there. But when you keep doing that multiple times, like once your inner voice told you, okay, this particular advice or this particular technique that this coach is asking us to do, manifestation coach is asking us to do, it feels like it's superficial. Like the 369 method, 777 method, there are so many methods, so many techniques to manifest, and they tell you that that is the ultimate technique that is going to manifest what you want. But very few of them, there are some, but they are very few in number, who tell you that it is not about the techniques, it is about how those techniques are making you feel. Like if a particular technique works for you, that means that you are enjoying that technique, and that is why it is helping you believe what you want. Believe that you're worthy enough to get that. That's what it is doing. And you can do that without the techniques as well. But when you stop listening to your inner voice that tells you that, you know what, this technique seems a bit superficial, because that's what happened to me. Like I would hear all these techniques, 369 technique, 777 technique, scripting, robotic affirming, and all of this. I would be like, okay, that feels like too much work. Like I have to do something to get something. But before I knew about conscious manifestation in this community, if I was already manifesting, because that's what they tell you, that you are always manifesting, right? So if I was already manifesting then, and I did not do anything separately to get something, then why do I have to do now? And my inner voice was telling me that I do not have to do that. But I forced myself, because I forced myself to believe that their solution would work better than what my inner voice is telling me. If you know anything about neurodiversity, all the people who have ADHD are different from each other. Even if just a little bit, they are different. So what works for somebody may not work for somebody else. It is a spectrum. And you can fall anywhere there, okay? And when you stop listening to yourself, you stop listening to your own ADHD tips and tricks and force yourself to listen to other people's tips and tricks and force them to work for you. They are not going to work for you, because your system is not equipped with them. The solutions that are going to work for you, the tips and tricks that are going to work for you, you already had that. You already knew that before getting diagnosed with ADHD. So use them. But I was not listening to my inner voice, and I kept pushing that voice down. There came a time when that inner voice was no longer audible enough for me to even listen to it, like let alone take the action that it asks me to. We all have that inner voice, and we push it down when we are, addicted with manifestation content, because we trust somebody else over us. And those same people who make us this addicted, they are the same people who will ask you to have a high self-concept, which is nothing but confidence, which is nothing but self-belief that your therapist tells you. Or maybe somebody has told you before, or maybe you figured out yourself. You know all the answers. In order to understand those answers, you first have to listen to yourself, and you have stopped doing that. So now, to summarize this video, what you have to do currently, my video got off and also my mom came. So, okay. Anyways, I was just summarizing the steps that you need to take. The first step that you need to take is take away the stimulus of the addiction. Stop watching any manifestation videos, and stop luring yourself, and stop lying to yourself by saying that this is the last video I'm going to watch. I'm not going to watch any other video after this, because that never happens. You're going to keep doing that. This is the last video, this is the last video, and you're never going to stop. It's never the last video. So stop watching that right now. I needed 3 months, and I did not watch any videos before that. Before those 3 months, I would always tell myself, okay, I would stop watching. This is the last video. This is the last video. It was never the last video. So now is the chance for you to make that video the last video and stop watching any more videos, because you have to take away the stimulus, okay? It is never going to be the last video if it is not the current video, okay? Stop watching it. Second thing you're going to do is to try and do the right thing, right? Okay, like right now, if because of manifestation community, for whatever reason, whatever effect it has had on you, try to figure those out, okay? Try to catch yourselves doing those things. For example, like I said, that when I had that fight in the bus, I would think that, okay, that fight happened, it is a bad thing, and that bad thing happened because I have a low self concept. I stopped feeling that way. So that fight happened because it was supposed to happen. And that's that. I did not overthink it. And whenever I would catch myself overthinking into something and then connect it to manifestation or connect it to self concept or whatever effect it has had on you, whatever it has told you, I would catch myself and I would stop myself. Okay. So that is the second thing you're going to do.
All right, so you may not stop feeling the way you are feeling about your manifestation or about everything else, like seeing something bad happening and then connecting it to your manifestation. You may not stop doing that right off the bat after you have made the decision, but that happens because you have changed your brain chemistry and has told your brain again and again that this is the way you are going to feel, like making everything your fault, your low self concept's fault. So now what you're going to do is do the opposite, and you have to keep telling yourself that even when you do not feel like it, even when you feel like, okay, I cannot trust this, it will feel fake, okay? And that is okay. It is okay to feel like it is fake because your brain is accustomed to a different reality. Now you have to train your brain to a new reality, to a new you, to a new way of your thinking. And in order to do that, you have to keep reminding yourself that this is what we are choosing to think now, feel now. Okay? All right.
And the third thing, and this is the most important one. So, the third thing is to tell yourself that the manifestation will not happen. And if this particular thing that I asked you to do, if it is triggering you, and if it is like, this is such a visceral reaction that I'm feeling, this rush of emotion, these like, so you become so uncomfortable and overwhelmed by just that fact that your manifestation is not fact, just by the statement that your manifestation is not going to happen, that too from a stranger on the internet. If it raised a visceral reaction in you, that means you are too addicted to your manifestation or you're too attached to your manifestation. And you are manifesting something to make yourself feel good, right? Is this making you feel good? It has so much power over you. All you need to understand is something cannot have that much power over you. And that is exactly what therapists are saying. But manifestation community uses different terminologies, and because of that, it becomes so much more serious or so much more complicated than it actually is. So just tell yourself or ask somebody else to tell you that your manifestation is not going to happen. Somebody you can trust who would not, look down upon you because of this. So ask them to do that and see whether it is raising a visceral reaction or not. It probably is, because all of the people who are struggling with manifestation, who are struggling with themselves, suffering with all these emotions, and because of manifestation community, because of the things that it is teaching, you are going to have a visceral reaction, and you have to keep telling yourself that that manifestation is not more important than me. I am the important one. That's what I used to say. I am the important one. That thing that I want is not important. It can happen, it cannot happen. I won't care, because that's how I used to feel before I knew about conscious manifesting, right? So if I was always manifesting, even before I got to know about conscious manifestation or law of assumption or law of attraction, even before all of that, I was manifesting, right? So if I was not doing anything to get something, then I won't have to do anything to get something now either. Okay. And the fourth thing that you have to do is just, try and listen to your inner voice. Okay. What do I mean by that is we have two voices. One is the impulsive voice, one is the one that knows right from wrong, and it is probably the right thing to do. Okay. In any situation. For example, if you have lost somebody in your personal life, somebody you loved, manifestation community has this thing called a revision. And I recently saw a video where coach was talking about revising somebody's death. Okay. And that basically is going to keep you in this loop of thinking that you can reverse the death, you can get that person back. That is not a healthy way, but that is the ultimate truth of life. If you are born, you're going to die, it's going to end. That is the ultimate truth. So you cannot reverse the death. Just reverse, but you wish you could, right? You wish you could just reverse the death of your loved one, but it is not possible. Now, let me tell you, any healthy person, healthy minded person, or healthy minded manifestation coach will tell you that all of this is a lie. You cannot reverse somebody's death. all it is doing is making you suppress all those feelings that you're feeling because of the death of your loved ones. And the more you delay it, the more intense those emotions are going to become. And the more intense they become, the harder it will be for you to process them. So, whatever sufferings, whatever struggles have brought you to this position today, where you have to, go through all these uncomfortable feelings, let that pass through you. Because if it doesn't pass through you, it is going to be inside you and it's going to eat you up. The fourth thing and the last thing you have to do is to listen to your inner voice. You have not listened to your inner voice for so long that it probably is currently on mute, but you have to keep asking yourself, okay, what is the right thing to do right now? We have two voices. According to me, there are two voices in our head. One is the impulsive voice and the other is the one that actually knows what is going on, right? So, and it tells us what is the right thing to do in any situation. And I want you to listen to it. Not the impulsive voice, the voice that tells you what is the right thing to do. And I want you to go through with it. I want you to listen to it and act on it. And by doing that, you will tell yourself that you care enough for yourself to do the right thing, to take care of yourself. So those are the 4 steps that I did, and it helped me get rid of the addiction. And now I watch manifestation videos and I have the inner voice and the critical thinking alert at all times that tells me this is a healthy advice and this is an unhealthy advice. This is real, this can happen, this seems real because I can personally get behind it. For example, like if a manifestation coach asks me to process my emotions regarding a certain situation before manifesting anything, I know that that advice is healthy and I can listen to them and do that. But if a manifestation coach asks me to just not believe it or just be in denial like that never happened, I know that's unhealthy advice and I will not listen to that. If you have that filter established in your mind, then no manifestation coach can ever hurt you or manipulate you. So I want you to get back to that position that you were, okay? A healthy mindset. Because a lot of people who get into the manifestation community are asking for answers. Instead, they end up in this loop of confusion, in this loop of endless questions with no answers. The only way to end that loop is to listen to yourself. All right? And that's all I wanted to say today. I really hope all of you get through this. Also, I forgot to mention this when I was recording and I'm too lazy to set up the camera again. But another thing that I think you should do is finding out and act on your interest. Because if you are that obsessed with something, that means you are probably always thinking about manifestation. You're probably always just thinking how to get it, how to solve certain problems. And by doing that, you are not really taking care of yourself, taking care of your likes and dislikes, your happiness. Because if you want something to happen, you want that to happen because you want to be happy, right? And it is doing exactly the opposite. So try and find things that you enjoy that are not related to your manifestation, and also try to maybe rekindle with your friends and go somewhere with them. Like, just enjoy your life overall, because if you're not enjoying something, then there is no point in anything happening or not happening. So yeah, that's another thing that I forgot to mention in the video. All right. And I'm here and I'm going to hold your hand throughout this process, and that means only 3 minutes because I get overwhelmed with physical touch. Anyway, so I'm going to be here to help you. Okay, so I'll see you in my next video. I coughed for really long. Anyway, so take care of yourself, and I really hope I can help you get through this. Even without my help, I really hope you get through this and you get to a really healthy position. After this, you can. I believe in you, and that's all I wanted to say today. And I'll see you in my next video.